guys, welcome back to Little Review. I hope you're doing very nice and I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Twisted series. This series has literally taken over so many platforms for such a long time, and you guys wanted to know if it is worth the hype, if you should spend money and time into it, and here I am to tell you. I started vlogging when I was reading the first part of the book, and I vlogged till around half of the book, after which I tried very hard to make this a vlog, but I just couldn't. We have my coffee over here right now. I am on my periods right now, so all of that thing that I had in the last video, trust me, I got my periods and I was like, oh, that's why that was happening. Okay, so there are 4 books in this series. I only have 3, and none of the series is actually interrelated to each other, so you can read it as a stand-alone. You can read only one book out of the series. We are gonna start with the first book, Twisted Love. Twisted Love is the story of Alex and Ava. Alex is this prodigy. He has this huge business at a very young age, and he has a very troubled past. And Ava, on the other hand, is this sweet, really nice, sunshiny, supposedly 22-year-old. And she also had a really horrible childhood. Alex and Ava don't know each other, but Ava's brother Josh is Alex's best friend since childhood, and they have kind of bonded over all of the shit that they have gone through in their personal lives, so they really do understand each other to a certain level. The book starts with Ava in a very difficult situation where she's getting wet in the rain and there are no cars around, and then she calls her brother Josh, and Josh is like really protective about her because of how their childhood was, and he gets really mad at her for putting herself in such a situation, and he is busy somewhere, which I don't want to talk about where he is busy. You can just know when you read the book. It's just okay, fine, he was with a girl. Okay, like, I'm just gonna say it, he was with a girl. So because he's with a girl, he's busy, he sends his friend Alex to go and pick up Ava. Alex is this really icy exterior, the coldest human being in the world person. So Ava is really trying hard to talk to him, but he's not talking to her. Not because he's mad at her, it's just because of the way he is. First of all, I don't like Alex at all in the beginning itself, and it's not because he's cold or whatever, because I have read a lot of cold characters in my life. It's just that there is this one way of being cold, and that is different from being mean and rude to someone. The narration is done from Ava's perspective and Alex's perspective. Honestly, that is one of the best parts of all of the parts in the series, because whenever I read the book only from one character's perspective, for example, Me Before You from one character's perspective, I get a little pissed because I really want to know what the other person is thinking, and I was able to see what both of them are thinking in this book. So that was really interesting. The past was all mysterious, and that was really interesting. In the next 100 pages, the relationship of Alex and Ava was developing. It wasn't really a romantic relationship, and yet it was developing, so it was really nice to read. I did get attached to Ava a lot. I think I really like it when people bond, so there were such certain conversations which were like really heartwarming, and I was feeling very attached to Ava. However, when I reached around 200 pages, I was not happy, because I was finally beginning to feel some amount of attachment. Like, I am actually still attached to Ava a little bit. I was seeing all of this, like, warm side of Alex, so I was thinking and hoping that maybe the real him is different, but that was not happening. What happened is, as I went into 200 pages, like 220 or something, I sort of already knew what the story is. It was that predictable. I mean, I don't mind cliche at all, and I don't really think it was cliche, but it was that predictable for me. I could guess so many things, except the one thing that was revealed much later. Except that one thing, I did not really have to read the next almost 200 pages to know what happened. What I want to say in the end about book 1 is that I have read a few eroticas in my life, and this is not the kind of erotica that I want to read. Extremely predictable. The characters were okay, and I still did not like Alex even towards the end of the book. The drama, the family drama, was so dramatic. Alex is too possessive. He's bossy. It's uncool. cool. I get like a little bit of possessiveness, a little bit of like, oh, you know, dominance, and all of that is amazing. Stop being bossy. Like, oh my god, trust me, I am always up for the dark character, like Lucifer, Klaus from the originals. If you guys watch anime, Sukuna, I mean, I am always up for dominant villainous characters. Like, they're grey, I get it. However, Alex was not like that at all. Now honestly, I did not want to read the series ahead after this, and this is where I decided that I won't read the 4th part, but I had to make this video, so I had to read the 2nd part. I went into the 2nd book with a lot of annoyance because I did not want to read ahead, but I started Twisted Games, which is the story of Rice and Bridget. Now Bridget is one of Ava's friends and Rice is her bodyguard. Why does she need a bodyguard? Because Bridget is a princess. She is in line to become an actual queen of a country which is called Eldora. There is part 1 and part 2 within this book, and part 1 is going on when we are reading book 1 of the Twisted series, like what is happening with Bridget at the same time, which means you don't really have to read book 1 to read book 2. You do catch up with the characters, you know what is going on with them, you kind of also know what is going on with Ava and Alex, and part 1 was similar to what I read in book 1. However, the writing style was so different from the first book. It actually got much better, which made me a little more excited about part 2. The entire story of Rice and Bridget actually felt real, even though they are dramatic. Obviously, drama is a part of all of the books in the Twisted series. Both the characters have a lot of depth. They have their own values, they have their own principles, and none of them are actually willing to, like, you know, shake their values and principles off, which made me very excited about both the characters. Then when I was on part 2, 50 pages in, I realized Rice is amazing, and this book was definitely much better than book 1 because Rice actually sees her like a queen and as a person, whereas Alex was actually talking about the effect of Ava on himself. Now I like that also. However, I do like it when the male character sees the female character as her own person. That is very important to me, and sees her personality and her qualities and not just her body. Rice actually saw her like a queen. The way he looks at her is so amazing, like reading about it. And Bridget, oh my god, is acting like a queen. Like, she's a freaking queen. Oh wait, I am saying queen. I didn't really tell you how we got to the queen part. So she was a princess and her brother was actually going to become king of Eldora. However, her brother actually gets out of the line because he falls in love with a regular person, like who is not royalty, because of which he cannot become king anymore. And so the next in line was Bridget, and which is why now she is in line to become the queen. I loved reading this book so much. On page 217, she tells the speaker of the parliament, who was actually coming to threaten her, that, you know, she's a woman and she won't really be able to handle all of the political stuff and shit like that. She tells him to back the fuck off, and that is actually kind of like the first time where I felt goosebumps on my body because of how firm and calm and strong she was. I was having my fun with the story of Rice and Bridget. It is forbidden love because Rice also is normal people, he is not royalty, so it's like they can't really get together. Now Rice also is possessive and aggressive. That is the thing with all the characters in the entire series. But now this is not the kind of possessive and aggressive where he is like mean to her or something. It has a certain degree of respect too. It has a certain degree of trust, and reading that kind of a character was amazing. Not just that, this book actually had some twists which I was not expecting at all, and I was like, whoa, what? I really thought that I would know what is going to happen, just the way I predicted in the first book. But no, in this book it was actually not predictable. Towards the last 60 pages, I was so freaking hooked to this book. And after that, Alex and Ava also came to see Bridget. I was actually excited to see them in the book because I felt like I already know them, you know. So I felt some level of familiarity. And the best part was when you read what Bridget thinks about Alex, you know, because you get to finally read her full perspective about Alex, and that is so interesting to read. I I just love how she perceives Alex. And yes, queen, I agree with her. She thinks like me about multiple things and about Alex. I love how queenie she is. I love how she was not like that in the beginning. So you can actually see a character arc of her going from like this person who does not want the responsibilities to becoming a queen while being herself. And finally, in the end, I loved this book. I love this book so much. I love the ending so much. I love the entire book so much. And it's going to be one of my most favorite books ever. Twisted Hate is the story of Josh and Jules. Josh, yes, is the brother of Ava, and Jules is one of the friends of Ava. This is completely different in that game too. Jules, the character which I did not like at all, is this ambitious woman who wants to become a lawyer in order to feel safe because of her past, and Josh wants to become a surgeon because he wants to save lives because of his own past. Now we already read Josh's past in book 1, so I was already familiar with that, and that's the reason I get it why he wants to become a doctor. But Jules was this really dumb character in both the other books where she says random ass shit and that no one cares about, and she's not really responsible and shit like that. And this is how you develop hate. The reason Jules hates Josh is because Josh told Ava that she should not be friends with Jules, and Jules heard that. When we read ahead about Jules, the kind of person that she is, you understand why that would make her hate Josh so much. And the reason is because the biggest problem in Jules's life is loneliness. She has been a lonely person since childhood, and after that one person, Ava, is becoming her friend, and Josh tells Ava, because he's so protective and all that shit, that she shouldn't be friends with Jules because Jules always gets her into trouble, and that really hurts her. And yeah, that makes absolute sense why it will hate her, because it challenges her identity. Josh, on the other hand, hates Jules because of how she always puts Ava into trouble. Josh is a protective brother. We get to know why he is a protective brother, and so if Josh hates Jules, it again makes sense because she is also challenging his identity. I loved how the hate is developed in this book. Lovely. Chef's kiss. I was completely connected to both the characters. I did think that Josh is still mean. I mean, he doesn't really want to be mean, but he's mean, and I don't know how that works. I don't relate to it. It's something not relatable for me because I don't go through that, but maybe some other people do, and it'll be relatable for them. Maybe, I don't know. So that's the reason I didn't really hate it entirely. I just didn't get it. As we move forward, the relationship gets a little soft, but then, do I have the page folded? Yeah, page 101, page number 156. I've actually written over here. Whoa! Oh my god. So you know what friends with benefits is? This is hate. What do you call people that hate each other? This is like a hating each other with benefits. I have never read that. Two people that hate each other so freaking much, having a haters in relationship kind of a relationship. I've never read this, and reading it from an erotica point of view was too much for my brain to process, but I was intrigued. I wanted to know what is going to happen ahead. This book had the most amount of erotic content. You have to be like 18 plus to read these books. But I was really scared that that is all the book is going to be about, but it's not, because we also get into Jules' past. There are other stories going on about their character as a whole, their careers, everything beautiful. They see each other as people, beautiful. I really enjoyed this book too, and I did not completely regret reading it. However, it was a little over the top with the erotic part, and I just don't read that. In the end, the second book was my most favorite book. Was it worth the hype? No, not at all. But if you want a taste of what books are like, if you are into eroticas, if you are into grey characters, if you are into hate to love relationships, if you are into dominance, if you're into being possessive, jealous, all of those elements of being in love, and you're okay with all of that, and you're okay with the erotic content, and you are okay with a certain amount of degradation that will be there for the characters, if you're okay with all of that and the drama and everything, basically, then too I suggest that you read the second book. Make your decision after that whether you want to read the third and fourth book or not. I am not going to read the fourth book because honestly at this point I need a break. I need a break from these kind of books. I need a break from romance. I need a break from hatred to love. I need a break from all of this. I can't, my brain cannot process it. I have read Love Deception, I have read these 3 books, and I have read uske pehle The Love Hypothesis. Now some of these books were good, some of them were not good. However, it's very similar to each other, all of them, and I'm so done with them right now. I want to read something really thrilling. And that is it, you guys. I really hope this video helped to make a decision. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please do subscribe. I will see you guys very soon. Bye.